welcome to my channel. Well, before I get into this particular knife that I'm going to look at, I just wanted to say that if you ever see in any comments a message that looked like it's coming from me saying, congratulations, you won, contact me at, on Telegram or any other things like WhatsApp or any of that crap, it's not me. And the reason why I say this is because it usually only happens on larger channels. They'll have a guy put up a comment. I've seen elaborate ones on Bitcoin where there'll be a comment and it'll have a lot of replies. And you look at it and it's like a little conversation. Somebody says, oh yeah, in these times you really need, to watch your money. And another person will come in and say, oh yeah, so-and-so really helped me out, to buy Bitcoin, and I've made a lot of money, and it just goes on and on with a bunch of different accounts. It looks like a conversation, but it's all being generated by the same person. And now it's happening on Knife Detector's giveaway. I'll put an example up there on the screen, but every reply is getting a comment saying, congratulations, you won, contact me on Telegraph. So do not, it should be obvious. They got obvious misspellings like contact me on Telegraph to win your price, not prize. So usually you can get them, you can see them by misspellings and obvious stuff, but still don't fall for that, because if you do, any information you supply to them, any information, even if you contact them, they now have your address or whatever, anything you give to them will be used against you, and not in a court of law. It'll be used against you by them. So I'm just saying, if you ever see any of that on mine, I'm kind of a small channel, but Knife Detector was just celebrating this 2,500. Usually they wait until you get a lot of, they usually attack bigger counts. So that's why I'm just putting this up. I didn't think I'd have to address it anytime, but it does happen. All right, so beyond that, let's get into this knife. Now, this is not the knife that's in this box. This is just my other Wasp series, and this is the Pipe Doctor. Now, what is different about these knives, besides, the cover and everything, is they're made out of VG10. And VG10 is a good upgrade from 440A because the price didn't go up hugely. This particular one is a small moose. I've never had a small moose before. I've had regular moosies, but never a small moose. So it's a pretty cool size. There is one flaw with it, and I wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't been watching Tobias's video. He was talking about his medium-sized toothpicks, and someone was mentioned that a lot of their medium toothpicks had bent blades. Now, what I look for on a knife, I don't know if we can see this. Can you see that? This one right here? This one's bent. It's not super obvious. Let me get it up ×2 here. It's not super obvious. Anything we can reference this against? I dropped my ruler. See it bending slightly to the right there? It's not enough that it's rubbing on the scale or anything, but it's just a bent blade. Now, your problem with a bent blade like this is if you try to straighten it out. The way to straighten out any bent metal is to heat it up and then try to bend it. If you try to bend it cold, it's probably going to snap. And the thing is, if you heat it up, what happens? You're changing the temper, you know? You have to, to fix a blade like this, you really would have to take the whole knife apart and just treat the blade itself. You know, reheat it up to like cherry red or something, bend it back, and then quench it in oil or something, you know. You'd have to basically do your own heat treat. So that's why most people don't mess with stuff like that. You might be able to fix it by putting it in a vise and squeezing the whole blade down. You can try like bending where you see the bend and stuff, but like I said, you got a good chance of snapping it. This one I'm going to let alone, but I never would have noticed that, you know, before about bent blades. This other one, it seems to be all right, this other blade. You have kind of like a skinning blade. See, this one's not, it's not curved against anything. It's going, it sits in its channel fairly well, but you can see that one, right? You can see this one curving down over. So what Tobias mentioned about this also is when they put a swedge on top of the blade also, they thin out the material. And when you're heat treating a knife, you want it all the same temperature. You don't want the tip getting hotter than the rest of it. And that's quite possible when you start narrowing out material and stuff. So that's my theory as to how it happened. When they heat treated it, they messed it up somehow. But other than that minor thing, I mean, it's just kind of annoying to me, you know. You got to cut something and you're cutting at a slight angle. It's not enough for me to return the knife or anything like that, but I just wanted to let you know that yeah, Rough Ryder is starting to get some. This is the first bent blade that I know of. I've had blades bent before, but so we got about a 2.5 inch cutting edge and 2 3/4 inch overall. It's a nice little pattern. A small moose. Let's see what it's closed is. Yeah, 3.5 inches. So you get, you know, a nice little clip point with a little swedge on it. This model is RR2263. Now, I didn't have any problem with this guy being bent. It's nice and straight. Of course, this one is RR2266. So yeah, these are nice little knives. It has blades coming out either end instead of, you know, on one end. Oh, we don't need to be 2x for this. Get down to 1x. 2.45 ounces. Well, we got to go over here and play with grams now. 69.5 grams. So yeah, nice little knife. There you go. That's the Wasp series. I think this is a good direction for them to go as far as the steel. It'd be nice to have. I don't have any problem on a traditional knife with 440A. You know, I mean, it stays sharp enough for me for the amount of times that I cut stuff before I need to sharpen it again. But I like VG10 better. It's just a little bit better steel, a little bit better edge retention. It's still stainless. So, yeah. I'd like to see more VG10 in them if possible with as long as they don't jack the price up, but you know, everything, you can't say that any price increase you see nowadays was because of the steel or anything. It's probably because of shipping issues, supply issues, or whatever. But there you go. Don't fall for scammers. And have a good day. Thank you for watching.